Consumer payments are bad, harmful financial products that can have a rather bad outcome, and even the best case scenario is still bad. In this video, I'm gonna tell you why, what to do instead, and why. And as a special bonus at the end, I'm gonna tell you how especially the rich avoid taxes with debt, but you have no business complaining about it if you are doing the same thing with consumer payments. Okay, let's go. So, adult people don't need consumer payments. But what is a consumer payment? Well, you know what it is. You get something now and you pay for it later. But then why do people take these consumer payments? Well, as the first rule of personal finance goes, don't buy that which you don't afford. And that is what these payments are for. It allows you to buy something you don't afford. You get something now and you pay for it later. You get something now and then you make an agreement to pay a fixed amount of money each month for a certain period of time. And the people who do this, they don't see anything wrong with that. What is so wrong with that? You might ask. Well, even the best case scenario is pretty bad, and I'll tell you. But ordinary people, just like I talked about in my last video, ordinary people tend to look at the world based on what they believe and think will happen in the future, whereas you should be looking at the future based on the amount of different possible outcomes. You see, but even in the best case scenario, let's say if you buy something like, let's say, a couch, a TV, and a computer or a video game console, whatever, and you agree to pay that in a period of, let's say, 5 years. And everything goes to plan. Well, even then 3 years later, you still have 2 years to go to pay every month this fixed amount of money. You're paying that money each month for the privilege of owning stuff that now are over 3 years old. So how are you going to feel then? You are paying that amount of money to own stuff that are now over 3 years old. And that is the best case scenario. And by the way, after you have paid this agreed 5 years, what will you do then? Well, then you will look at your stuff that are now old stuff now, and then you take more consumer payments. And the cycle goes on. But that was the best case. Another case is that you make the same deal, and then after 3 years, you lose your income. You lose your job. You get sick. You get into an accident. Well, then you are still stuck with these payments and with this older stuff now. But the problem is that the money you agreed to pay, it was not a significant amount of money when you made that agreement. But if you lose your income, then that money you agreed to pay becomes a significant amount of money to you in that scenario. Yet you are still stuck paying off that payment each month. And that is the problem with consumer payments. Payments and debt is always a risk. So what do you do instead? Well, that is simple. You simply save the money before you buy. But when you do that, it is not only because you earned that money before you buy and you don't have any debt, but you see, during that time period, when you are saving that money to a bank account, well, during that time, that money serves a purpose. It serves a purpose that during that time, it functions as your financial security. But also, it also guarantees that you won't be misspending your money. You see, in the best case scenario, you save the money and then you buy the stuff. The stuff that is, you pay for it now, that is brand new stuff. But in that other scenario, if something bad happens, the same money functions as your own financial security. If you lose your income, you get sick, you get into an accident, well then, you have that cash saved that you can use for other purposes. Because the thing is, when you save that money, the stuff you wanted to originally buy may not be worth it at that time. And that is a reason why it is so powerful to save that money beforehand. Your car payment may feel like an exception, but even with a car, if you buy a car with payments, you usually tend to buy a car that is more expensive than what you really need. So when you have earned that money first, when you have that money in your bank account, you are quite careful not to misspend any money that you have earned. So even in that case, it's better to earn the money first. And if you are unable to save money, well then you need to put some effort into your own personal growth, because then you are acting like a teenager or a child. I want the thing now and I don't care about the future. And consumer payments, it is not an excuse to go around your own incompetence, let's call it, to save money, that you're using payments like a kind of a bank, really, that because you're unable to save, you buy with payments, and then the bank will make you pay the payments on the things that you couldn't save for. That's dumb. And that is why consumer payments are a bad thing. There is no positive outcome for consumer payments. But when you earn the money first, then all the future outcomes are beneficial to you. That was the point of this video. Now, as a bonus, especially in the big world, the rich people, the ultra rich, they avoid taxes by not paying dividends or not by selling the wealth they have and paying taxes on it. Instead, what they do is they take debt against that wealth, especially in the United States of America, so they don't pay any income tax. And of course, their idea is that the interest is by far lower than what they expect the value of their wealth to grow. And some say it's a big issue in the world, but you have no business complaining about it if you are doing the same with payments. That instead, let's say if you can earn extra money, well, instead of earning extra money, extra cash, paying extra taxes on your income, well, instead you are taking consumer payments, so you don't have to make that extra income with the extra tax. So really, you are doing the same thing in a smaller scale. But that was a secondary issue on this video. The point was, consumer payments are not worth it, and I just told you how. And this is Radio Heikkala. Thank you for watching.